Yo, 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 what is up, guys? Welcome back to the 902nd podcast. Today, I'm sure you already know, we have me, myself, Ethan, Juan, and Anthony. Go ahead and say hi.
It's your boy Corona 445.
And, we have Juan here himself. I'm sure he's having some mic issues, but that's alright. We'll get him in here later. But yeah, today we're gonna be talking to you guys about freshman year. Yeah. So freshman year, it's your your very start of high school, right? So like you're barely beginning. The first thing you do is what? You go to the designated area to go choose your classes. You're choosing, what classes you want to take, whether it's CP, honors, gate. I'm not really sure if any of your guys' schools provide AP classes or courses, but ours don't at the freshman level. But yeah, it's basically like you kind of just getting a feel for it, right? And of course, like a lot of times your freshman year, especially, a lot of teachers and especially your counselors are gonna be pushing you to kind of get out there, get yourself out there in like extracurricular activities. They'll like join a sport, join a club, go maybe even run for a student body, all that stuff. It's really like basic stuff for your freshman year. But the thing I feel like a lot of kids like misunderstand, and I don't know how this, information gets spread, but a lot of kids say that you shouldn't really try as hard your freshman year, which I don't think is true. Because even though like it's your freshman year and it's probably not the most important year of your high school, life, but it's definitely still gonna be on your transcript though, right? Like all of those grades, all of like your everything that you've done over high school, or as a freshman, anyways, is gonna be on there. So yeah, I'd definitely say that you should, still, be consistent and try your best, and especially if you're trying to, if you're looking ahead already, I mean to say, you should already be, joining those extracurricular activities, because if you're looking ahead to colleges, you'll know that they like to see that kind of stuff, and you'll hear us talk about, all this stuff that colleges want throughout the whole podcast and throughout our whole series, because, it really does have a big impact on your applications and stuff. So yeah, do you, Anthony and Juan, do you guys have anything to tell them about freshman year? Like what kind of helps them get started?
Luke, you got something?
Yeah. So what I was gonna say is, freshman year, it's a lot of struggles. You know what I mean? Like you can't get away with stuff as you can as a senior. The teachers are gonna be more strict on you. You can't wear your hats. They're gonna tell you every single day. It's gonna be like that. But when you're doing these extracurricular activities, you have to keep in your mind. That you can't be letting your grades drop. Like I said before, and I'll say this again. You can't. You don't want to have Fs. I would rather have straight Bs than have straight Fs and do a sport. You know what I'm saying? That's just gonna be how it is. You can't be letting. Doing a sport is gonna be a lot of work. You're gonna be putting in those hours. Training, and you just need to keep in mind your grades are more important than the sport itself.
Exactly. So Luke, as our special guest here, well, the reason why we kind of brought you onto the podcast is because you have I feel like a very different perspective on high school than a lot of students, because uh, there's a program that I know that you've taken part of called the IT Academy, which is a very unique program, to say the least, that a select few number of students can join. And seeing that you've been part of that, we really want to know, uh, what's your take on it? Like, what did the IT Academy do for you, and like how did it really affect you during high school, and what's it for the better, for the worse? You know what I'm saying? So that so the kids could kind of get like an idea of what it's like.
I would say that the IT Academy is a great start. Especially if you don't know what you're going to be doing. in your high school career. Um, when you're in the IT Academy, you have a select number of classes, and you're with the same people for 3 years. You get to know these people, you get to be close with them, and it's like a family. It's just its own separate thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like, it's like bringing it back to like, you saying that it's its own separate thing, but like, what really like differentiates it from, like normal CP classes that other kids would take? What's like the kind of difference between, being in the ITA and with all these people and the teachers and being like in another class, on the CP level?
Yeah. So when you're in ITA, you get to learn a lot of things. Using your computers. You get to learn a lot of computer skills like Microsoft Word, and you learn how to use Photoshop and Premiere Pro and all these different editing programs. But also in the IT Academy, you get to use technology in class. And in my English class this year, we don't even have Chromebooks in our classroom, and I think that's pretty sad. But in every single IT Academy class, you have your Chromebooks, and you're always technology. The technology is always more advanced than in normal CP classes.
Yeah. Um, yeah, from what I've heard, at least from, all the people I spoke to in the IT Academy, that, it's very technology focused, that you guys really, like to connect all these classes together through technology. Say, like, you're working on a project in English or math, and then you transfer it over to, I don't know, your computer class, so you could, like, kind of do stuff together. You get what I mean? So kind of like
Yeah,
that kind of connection between all the classes is what I think is, very special and unique. And I know that you guys kind of like get very, involved in, the colleges. Can you talk about like the some of the college experiences that you guys had? Because I know that you guys, you take all these, you take these field trips to colleges. You kind of learn a lot about them. So can you talk to me about some of like the college experiences that you've had?
yeah. So in ITA, you get to go on. I think it's 2 field trips every single year. It might be 3. But in ITA, we took many field trips. We took a field trip to Fresno State. We took a field trip to UCLA, and you get to learn about these campuses, and you get to talk to people, and you get to learn their experiences and how they got there, and it just really prepares you for your future college career.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And yeah,
I have something to add real quick. Sorry for the inter.
oh yeah, yeah, go ahead.
What? How do you say that these trips and all this technology from the IT Academy has prepared or helped you learn other things you did not already?
Your mic's cutting out, buddy. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, he's just really asking like how has like all the influences of technology and college field trips, how has that really affected you as a person, and how has that helped you learn throughout high school?
I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. Going on these field trips and visiting these colleges, it's taught me that it's kind of expensive, to
Yeah,
go to these
exactly.
colleges.
Yeah.
You hear all these people. They say go to your dream college, but like I'm a realistic thinker. I don't want to be in debt when I'm older, and I sure as hell don't want to be going around and trying to flex my degree. Like it's not all that serious. Like you can go to BC, get the same education, and then transfer to a different college. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
you don't need to be spending all your money right out of the gate and going to a 4-year college. It's not that serious.
Yeah, exactly. And like I feel like, yeah, yeah, like some really good points that you brought up is that a lot of kids, they want to go gun ho, right? And like go for their dream UC college, like UCLA, UC Merced, UC Santa Cruz. And like going to UC is not cheap. And I feel like, well, it's a good thing that they're taking you to these colleges, because it kind of like opens your eyes, like, oh shoot, like maybe, considering my financial status and what my family could afford, maybe I might want to go for a community college, or I might want to go for, I mean, a CSU, which is definitely still expensive but not as pricey as say UC. Um,
Yeah, especially if you're not ready for like the real world scenario where you're going to be out there by yourself. You know, you don't have your parents to fall back on. You know, BC and Taft and even CSUB, like even going to these local colleges, you know, you have your parents to kind of back you up just in case if you know you don't like the college. You know, you can always change. You know, it's not all on you all at once. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You're not really exposed to that like that culture shock at the beginning, because I know that a lot of kids, or like a lot of times, like it happens to these, these freshman college admissions, where they go to college for one semester outside of their home, so it's very very different environment, different people, different, different lifestyle. I mean, and then like a semester passes and they want to come back home because it's just way too different. It's way too much for them. It's so much stress, and they're not able to focus on their education and their classes because it's too much thrown onto them. So I'm really glad that you brought up that point as to that whether it opens your eyes going up to these colleges, because I feel like a lot of kids, when they first come into high school, they're all like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get my degree in high school. I'm gonna get my diploma in high school. I'm gonna go to these UCs and get my degrees." When it doesn't, it's really a lot more than just that. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I think it's a great thing what they're doing. I mean, any college field trip. I mean, just the experience itself, going to, these new places. I mean, I think it's great. and yeah.
And you know, if anything, you know, you get used to the campuses. You know, if you really do want to go to Fresno State right out of the gate, you can do that. You know, but it's just you just have to realize that you're gonna be, it's gonna be a new environment, new people. You're not gonna really know anybody unless you go with your friends, which is always the best bet. You know, to go with your friends and to have somebody there with you to go through the same scenario. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
But
so
like you said, many times that unfortunately isn't the case, as price may be a factor in deciding whether or not you'll be able to afford it and go. Uh, Many times, other students, their friends, like you said, and definitely like uh, CSUB and BC and Taft are all really good options. Staying uh, in Bakersfield and transferring later on if that's an option that you decided.
yeah, so yeah, just kind of building off of Luke's points there, and coming back down to earth, coming back to the high school level. I know that we kind of dumped a lot on you guys with the whole college, because the college shock that a lot of us experience, but
yeah, it's
just
because we're all going to college. You know, next
yeah,
year.
yeah,
Where it's all on our minds. You
yeah,
know.
it's all on us, yeah, exactly. um So, coming back to high school, which is the level that these guys were on that we're talking to, going back to the IT Academy, like what would you say is like the number one thing you kind of took from that experience, and you'd say that this really impacted me in high school, this really uh helped me, or it didn't help me, uh, you know, get through my classes and whatnot.
Personally, I would say stick to AP classes. Even though I did not take any AP classes, I know people that took AP classes. These are all AP students in this chat right now. Um, and in CP, you're more exposed to a lot of things. There's a lot more drama than there is in AP classes. It's a lot more civil in AP classes, I would say. Um, you always hear about like the occasional like fight, and that's never in an AP class. You know, I
Yeah,
would just stick to AP classes or ITA. Get to know some friends. Be in your tight group.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
just stay out of the drama.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm glad I kind of, that we're able to, get that different perspective from you, because really, like, for our podcasts, we want to be able to, open the eyes of all the students and not just like target the AP students. We want like every student in high school to succeed, right? We don't want to see anyone fail. Like that's something that that's hard to believe. And we really want to get like all this information out to all students, not just AP students. Like we want to reach out to all the CP students too, and kind of guide them with our experiences, right? With our failures, with what we succeeded and what we failed in. Like we want to guide them in the right direction so that they have a good high school career and a good high school life, because really this is could be the most important 4 years of your life, because it's where you grow the most, it's where you grow the most emotionally, physically, mentally. Like it's a really important time in your life.
It's a really important stepping stone, I think, is what you're trying to say there.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't want to take this lightly, and yeah, like I said, we want to reach out to as many kids as possible. We don't want to single out just a single group. But yeah, it's coming around that time. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you gonna say something, Luke?
Yeah, one last tip.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna be if you're gonna be missing classes on a single day, even if in my scenarios, I know when I'm gonna miss days. If you're sick, you're gonna miss a day. You need to go to your classes. You need to get those assignments, and you can't be like slacking on your work. You got to be putting in the work. It's no joke.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't fall behind it any more than you have to. Like you can always, and if you have those connections, like Luke said, with your friends, you have a tight group. Always ask them for the work. Like ask them what we did that day. It's as easy as sending out a simple text message or a phone call. So yeah, it's really easy to like get information nowadays, and yeah, I mean, freshman year, we don't want you guys to stress too much about it, but at the same time, we don't want you to take it too lightly. Kind of just like treat it with ease, get through it as best as you can. Try to be consistent, all through the year. Don't really slack off during any of it, because, like I said in the very beginning, it still goes on your transcript and it will affect you later on. So yeah, if you guys any of you guys have any more thoughts, go ahead.
Right. Just adding to like what you guys said, don't take freshman year lightly just because they say, oh, it's not going to be such a big part of your high school career. Like you said, it definitely plays a role in your transcript, and it's your first year, getting accustomed to everything that's going on. It will be a challenge in the beginning, but once you get into the rhythm of high school, it will be a lot easier and know your way around a few of the things.
Yeah, of course. Like you'll eventually learn how to, work the system. Oh, not work the system, but like work your way around the system, right? I mean, eventually you might learn how to work the system. I don't know if you got those connections, but yeah, I mean,
and like Luke was saying, you don't want to fall behind in high school, because I remember especially freshman year, I like was falling behind because I came from a new school and I wanted to like fit in, so I wasn't like really taking school serious. I was just trying to fit in and stuff, and that really came back to bite me, because now my grades were like they're just like B's, a couple C's freshman year, and that's because I was falling behind, not doing my work, and they came back to bite me because it like shows on your transcript. So definitely don't fall behind, especially freshman year.
yeah, exactly what Anthony said. I mean, definitely want to take the entire high school career like lightly, right? Because it does all go on your transcript, like like we keep saying, like we keep on saying it because like it really should be like an important thing to you guys. That is, I don't think we can stress this enough, that it will come back and bite you if you don't stay consistent throughout these years. So yeah, that's gonna be it for us today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed out there listening, and yeah. We'll come back to you guys next time in the 900-second podcast. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke, for joining.
Later, guys.
Thank you very much. Stay tuned for our next episode.
Thank you.
Talk to you guys again.